All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another weekly episode of the DCL Podcast. Today, I'm joined by Tom McBride, who was instrumental in the beginning stages of the Dairyland Collegiate League and is a pretty big part in getting us to where we are today. Tom, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
So, Tom, you mentioned before we got started that you were kind of the connection between the original owner the original owner of the DCL and some of these people from around the area. So, what kind of sparked that interest in getting involved with something like this?
I don't know. I just have a deep root in baseball. It's the love of the game. It's about the kids too, whether it be 10 years old or college guys. It's basically it's all about the kids, allowing them to get to be able to play more baseball than what they could. Um, are there other college leagues? Yeah. But are they close to home? No. We have a small niche, I think, because people, kids can play with us because most of our games, other than weekends, are at like 4 o'clock. So they can work, they can take online classes, they can do all the things that they need to do during the day, where a lot of them other leagues don't cover that portion. So, but yeah, ultimately, it's I guess, the love of the game and for the kids.
So kind of to build off of that, actually. So what has the DCL meant to you? Obviously, you've been a integral part of it since its infancy. What has the DCL meant to you over these last uh, um, 4 years, 5 seasons?
Well, I don't know how much what it's meant to me other than it's a part of me. Put it that way. Without that, it's just there'll be a void there if it's not there. So it's always something to do, stay busy with, keep in contact with people, kids, coaches, things like that. So, and again, it's for the kids. I'll say this 100 times. It's for the kids, to get something out of it. So I guess it just means a lot to me that it's still going and that we're able to keep doing it.
So, taking it back to it being about the kids, you mentioned, 4 o'clock games. It allows them to do what they need to do before the game starts. How big do you think that is kind of in shaping these kids into what they are going to become with having that ability to do other things before they get to the baseball part?
It probably shapes him a little bit. I think what it does is it allows him to have some free time instead of always having baseball, baseball, baseball. Kids need to be kids, whether it be taking online classes, whether it be working. I talked to a good portion of, in fact, probably all of them, and a lot of them are excited that they can work, or a lot of them have to pay for their own schooling, so they have to work, stuff like that. So that's kind of where the niche that we get is. So you can come in here anytime you want. So into the facility. So if you want to work out, you want to hit, you want to do whatever, it's free. It's all up to you to come in here. So they're kind of on their own, you know, like college sometimes regimented a little bit for them. I'm assuming exactly on your end, your schedules are a little bit regimented with, I got breakfast at this time and I got classes and then I got to go to practice and then, I got to do my schoolwork and then oh, now I got to throw a game in there. So, um, we're pretty, I don't want to say we're pretty lenient, pretty light on that, but they're not playing games every day of the week. They do have a fair amount of free time to do whatever they choose to do. So that gives them their chance, in my eyes, to be kids, college people, to grow up a little bit on their own. Especially the kids that are coming from other states that they don't live close. Um,
Mhm.
Again, that could be a bonus and it could not be a bonus at some points. sometimes you give too many people too much free time, too much leniency. They don't know how to handle that. But in the most part, we've never had issues with kids at the DCL. They've treated us well, and I hope to we in turn treat them well enough that they always want to come back.
So you've obviously, as we've already covered, you've been a part of the league since the very beginning. You've been with it through the previous ownership. Now Frank takes over. What are kind of your thoughts on the direction that Frank has this league currently set in?
Go with the flow. Not a good word, but it works the way we're doing it, but can we get better at it? Yeah. Can we get bigger at it? Of course. So if that's the direction that we want to go, I'm all for it. Just do what I can do to help make it happen.
And so you mentioned that you've already, talked to some of the guys coming in. So obviously you have a pretty good idea of who they are. Do you have any thoughts on the talent that's coming into the DCL this year?
Um I would say that the DCL is younger this year than we have been in the past with a lot of freshmen, but I think the talent at this point might be a little bit better. Yeah, the talent grows every year. Um, we get D1 guys, D2 guys. We get some really, really good JUCO guys, D3 guys, NAI school. Um, Most of these guys, when we look at them on film or look at their measurables for PBR, stuff like that, they pretty much have the makings of good players or better talent, top level talent, um, to I to bring a pitcher in and somebody tops out at say 60 miles an hour, that might not be what we're looking for talent. We're looking for the guys that can throw a little bit better. But on the second half is that 60 guy might gain that with um tutelage from a coach, um extra innings, things like that. So it's a little bit of a balance thing on who you get, who you don't get. We have well, actually it's about 338 or 39 applicants. Um, and so you start weeding through them. We fill up pretty quick as they come in. They've slowed down a little bit, but I'm assuming they'll start again here once the college baseball season starts to wind down. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
So are there any teams or players that are kind of sticking out to you that, this is somebody or a team to watch for this upcoming season?
Well, maybe not one player at all. Um, I'm a little bit partial on the Cheese King side. They look good. Apaches probably look tough a little bit. A little sleeper in the crowd would be the Foxes with CJ Thielke. He's always been dealt kind of a bad hand where he's always short players. His roster is full. We have 30 kids on his roster, bunch of pitchers, things like that. So that team right there could be a dark horse, could be the sleeper.
All right. Well, you heard that here first. Look out for the Foxes this year. So, how is your role going to look once the summer starts? I don't know exactly what the true nitty gritty is. How exactly are you going to be hands on this summer? Or are you kind of going to sit back and watch everything unfold? What's this summer going to look like for you?
Probably a little bit of both, maybe not so much hands-on. In the last few years, I've done the on-field announcing, uh, took care of the umpires, just all the video stuff, set it all up, make sure it's good. Guys like you and not Big Red, Riley. Sorry about that. Um, Riley comes in, make sure they have the stuff that you guys need to, to broadcast over Game Changer, your play-by-play stuff. Um, I'll probably still do a lot of that, but hopefully not as much of that, where I can sit back and be like more of what I want to call a field general type person.
Mhm.
And and that's fine. Do I like to do all that? Sure. But at some point you have to let somebody else slide in, and it's not always all about the old guys, it's about the young guys, trying to get their job, like you as an intern, um, getting your stuff in, and getting better. A little plug out to Riley. Um, that guy, when he came to us last year, he was a little field mouse, man. I hate to say it that way, but he was a field mouse. By the time he left, he was boisterous. He was out there. He was a talkative dude. He was a whole different person by the time he left the summer. So that's what we hope our interns do too, or I at least hope so.
So last question for you. Is there anything else? I always like to just end my any interview this way. Is there anything else that you want to say either about you yourself or about the Dairyland Collegiate League as we get ready to sign off here?
Oh man. I can tell you there's a lot of work involved, a lot of work. Um, you probably know that behind the scenes stuff, um, the back door stuff, everything. There's a lot involved, and it's not always big things. It's little things. Okay, who's taking care of the field? Make sure that's all ready to go. Are our umpires gonna, contact them to make sure they're gonna be there? Umpires got to get paid. Make sure you take care. Hot days with water. Coordinate different things. Um, that's not all on one person. That's multiple people doing that. So again, there's a just so they know it's just not showing up at the field and everything's ready to go, and that doesn't happen in 5 minutes. So there's a lot of work involved there. So um what I'd like to see from the Dairyland at the end of the year is two great teams duking it out in the championship, um, whoever that may be. Uh, the season will, take care of that. Um, and at the end of the year, after our championship, I want to see a lot of guys go to the Northwoods to play. I mean, at one time we've had 20 players go to the Northwoods. That's a big goal, is for guys, even though it's a couple of weeks, playing with them, 10 days, 15 days, whatever it is, that's huge for them because next year they may be offered a contract at some point. We've had some guys, that have came through, and that happened. They got to the Northwoods, and next year, oh man, I can't play the DCL. I'm playing full time at the Northwoods. Yeah, good for you. It's not the end of the world. That's not gonna, yeah, we'd like to have you back, but it's not gonna break our heart. But you need to look out for number one. You need to look out for yourself. And if your goal is to play baseball at a higher level, then so be it. And I can't wait to see all the guys like you get in here and see how things go. You guys are gonna have fun. Absolutely have a blast.
I've been looking forward to getting up there since, well, probably since before the new year. I've really been looking forward to getting up to southern Wisconsin, hanging out with you guys and putting in some good old-fashioned hard work.
Yeah, up there, some of the days are long, 11 o'clock at night or so, depending on what you do during the course of the day. So, is what it is, you do things that you just do them and you don't think about doing them. You just do them because either it needs to be done or that's your passion to do things. So,
And then,
anything else for me? Otherwise, I'd like to give a couple shout outs here. Okay. Mr. Haldeman did a great job. He does our umpire coordinating. Outstanding guy. All I got to do is give him a schedule. He takes care of it. End of story. Okay. If there's changes, he makes sure he calls us, let us know. We let him know, stuff like that, oh, hey, Tim, we moved the game or we did this. Perfect. Okay. And Frank and Hayden for taking this on. Okay, couldn't do it without them guys. When the season comes and Hayden is here, takes a burden off other people. And he's going to be he's going to have a full plate along with coaching. So, but again, I appreciate those guys. Love them to death.
All right. Shout out to those three, Tim, Frank, and Hayden. That's all the time we have for this week's edition of the DCL Pod. Tom, again, I want to thank you for your time, and you go ahead and have a great rest of your night.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Rhys.